Welcome to Jesus TV and welcome to Jjesusdance, the movie and venues, a 1,000 part movie. This movie will present the venues and discuss the venues of Jjesusdance Film Festival in my Jesus Greg world. That's an important distinction, just in case you think I've hijacked Jjesusdance. I have, and I hope you do too, for your own purpose. Um, This is part one, and the title is Jjesusdance Film Festival is Venue Headquarters, Basecamp in my Jesus Greg world. So, hello to my fellow Jesus dancers, attendees of Jesus Film Festival every January in Orem, Provo, Utah, a film festival like unto Sundance Film Festival or Slam Dance Film Festival up there in Park City, Salt Lake City. This one, Jesus themed. And I have an update for you. Uh, this movie is the first part that Jesus wants me to share with you. So, this movie that I'm making right now with Jesus is going to be playing at the 2025 Jjesusdance Film Festival in Provo, Orem, Utah. Happy Valley, Jesus Valley. Jjesusdance Film Festival will end up being many different things to many different people. So, though Jesus, through me, is asserting one purpose for it, you may have other purposes that Jesus has you do. So, as it relates to what I intend is just making a movie that's going to play at Jjesusdance and making it in my mind and in my heart. And the movie that I'm going to be watching even before then is called Jjesusdance the movie and venues. Um, let's see, script here. For me, for Greg, in my reality, my Jesus Greg world is movie based. That means when I look to how I can adjust my reality, I'm talking about movies, Jesus making movies to tell me how I should think, feel, do differently. And the movies inform me. And so that's where I would say my Jesus Greg world is movie based, film based, meaning there's always a film, movie playing in my head, even right now. Oh, what's going on in the movie? I see my fingers, but I can feel them. So these are feely movies, touchy movies, tasty movies, hear movies, see, touch, taste, all of the senses. And it plays in my mind and heart and in my spirit. Sometimes Jesus is making a movie and I'm helping him with that. Sometimes we are editing a movie, also called repenting in the movie. Like, let's do that again. Let's do that differently. Like, this one can stand to be remade. But it's okay for now. It's sufficient for our needs. There, meaning Jesus, and let's see. Jesus makes for me special movies um, that other people just refer to as reality, and they don't necessarily refer to it as movies. My mind is playing movies. I'm playing a reality. No, it's a parable. That's how I understand it. You can understand reality how you want. It's how I process it. Um, and it is the way he introduces me and brings me into his kingdom. He is the king, and he has a kingdom. It's a hidden kingdom, and I'm able to see it, feel it when I'm making movies with him or when I'm watching movies with him, uh, putting songs so that we can sing songs together, Jesus and myself and the angels. Um, and it's different than U.S. Antichrist, all is well in Zion, Babylon culture. yeah, there's different movies, different realities playing out there that we can be swallowed by and just kind of flow with. So these are new movies. Um, and okay, thank you. Um, the Jesus dance for me is a place to decide with Jesus and record where these different movies that Jesus is making with me, where the venue is. Where is this movie located? And I can go there in my mind. So, for instance, one of the movies Jesus is making is called Sacred Clown. It's a 1,000 part movie documenting one that I'm a sacred clown. He's called me as a sacred clown, but there's other sacred clowns. Gandhi, Jesus himself is a sacred clown. And to understand that, I need to go watch a movie and help Jesus make a movie about that very thing. And the venue, the place where we think of as the headquarters for that movie or the venue is at my Cedar Creek ward, 500 yards from here, in the Cultural Hall. And so that's its venue. And that, when I get these other tools Jesus is working on with tech guys and so forth, I'll be able to show you. We'll fly there and I'll say, oh, look at this big screen here. It'll be virtual. I don't think Jesus is going to intend for me to construct a big screen at my ward house or in the cultural hall. It can be virtual, and that's sufficient for my needs. And I can imagine myself sitting there watching um, Sacred Clown and what are the lessons that Jesus has taught me. And so he's got 1,000 parts. I may need to be reminded, oh, yeah, so that movie starts out with with that one guy. Um, what's his name? Jesus. His name is. I can see him. Anyhow, part one, uh, I can see it in my mind. I know what it's saying, and I can go watch it. Right now, I have to go click on the YouTube and watch it. But Hugh Nibley, that's right. Jesus started out with Hugh Nibley and doing a sacred clown experience there. And so, very important intro for me. Um, and I can remember it. I know what the instance was and so forth. And it helps me understand who I am, like Hugh Nibley, different than Hugh Nibley, but like Hugh Nibley. And in what way? Well, at least in one way, we're both sacred clowns, called to that energy, called to that style. And so, this movie right here is just to announce that for me, Jjesusdance headquarters is and will always be headquartered in Orem, Utah, at that Airbnb we stayed at that had the big, um, what's it called, Exodus painting, beautiful. And so I've got a picture right here of the living room with that Exodus, and it says now showing. What's showing there for me? It's this movie called Jjesusdance, the movie and venues. So I could just sit down on that couch and look at the Exodus and recall, all right, now where's that one location? Oh, yeah, Sacred Dance. That's where we're going to go. We're going to go when we need to make another sacred clown, sacred dance. It is sacred dance. Jesus dances. Sacred clown. Whew, my mind's taken there. Um, Other venues include the Rock Church, which is in Spring City, Utah. Playing there is the 2000 classic rock songs, as well as the additions to the Book of Mormon. That is, Jesus gives me additions, so it's called the Book of More Jesus. And I look at those by opening the Book of Mormon and seeing the things that Jesus has inserted there, the movies. And so there's 1,000 parts there. He's going to add a lot to the Book of Mormon for me. Yeah, for me. For the Book of More Jesus is what it's going to be called. Also, the Book of Mormon. And then there's the hymn book, which will have the traditional hymns plus, oh, there's another 2,000 hymns here. And those will play in my mind, and eventually electronically, you'll be able to, like, I can go there. I can go right there, and that's where you'd go. Like if you went in my Jesus Greg world, anyways, that's where you go. You can set yours up differently. You could take what I've got in mind, and put it somewhere else. That's fine. But in my world, you said, "Oh, no, I want to go come to your world, Greg. Your Jesus Greg world." Yeah, um, you would travel to that electronically, and you'd open that book, and you go like, "Oh, look at this," and you grab the different hymns and probably have electronically. You can play them, and maybe you're having a karaoke, a Jesus karaoke, and you're like, "Oh, I need to get hold of those songs. Where are they? They're in Spring City at the Rock Church. All right, let's fly." Seconds later, oh, right there, go inside the Rock Church, up here in the second row, might be the third row, um, and at the Rock Church, right there, reach out. You'll see there's the Book of Mormon, Book of More Jesus. Oh, it's got more pages. Yes, it does, than normal. Same thing with the hymn book. Pull it up, looky, there you go. And so when a new song comes to me, I know where to go. But when a new venue comes to me, I also know where to go. The first place I go is here, the Jjesusdance, the movie and venues. So I establish the venue pathway, if you will, and then I link it out to wherever that venue is that will be playing the movie that my mind, my heart, my eyes need to see, to be trained, to be commanded by Jesus. All right, well, I think we've come to the end of this movie. This is the part one, and it's just an announcement that the Jjesusdance Film Festival is for me a headquarters, a base camp in my Jesus Greg world for venues, to establish venues throughout my Jesus Greg world, which will travel throughout, oh, so many places and people. Just recently, Jonathan McCormick, my friend, he became a venue. So people can become a venue. Like, so you're going to look at Jonathan, he's like a screen. You got it. We'll probably just turn around and watch it on television or something, Jonathan and I. But Jonathan becomes the venue. So, like, if we were at Sundance Film Festival, they say, "Where can I watch that one film?" They'd say, "Oh, well, you need to go down and that guy walking right there, he's the venue." What? Yeah. Wow. So, buildings, remembrances going back in time as well. I got one at 7th Street in Powell, Wyoming. Um, there's a venue there. And yeah, I'm liking how Jesus is setting this up. So it's a structure for my Jesus Greg world. It'll make more and more sense once um, it's built out quite a ways. And especially when it's built out electronically and virtually when those tools come on. But for right now, I get it. I understand what Jesus is doing. I'm not doing it. Jesus is. I'm just surrendering, being possessed by his spirit. And his spirit's like, we're going to make movies. I'll help, Jesus. Yes, you will. I get your commandment. Then I will do it. I love your commandments to me. How gentle God's command, how kind his precepts are. Come cast your burden on the Lord, and then you get to watch some awesome Jesus movies.